Morning everyone, so we are on to chapter 13 of the Dreamsnatchers. This is called Skull's Lair, and I don't even know why I said Dreamsnatchers, it's called the Dreamsnatcher. Moll jerked awake, her head pounding. Darkness, as far as she could see, so it was night again. She must have been out cold for a whole day, and where was Siddy? Still bound to a tree by the river? Her thoughts were spun wildly, riddled through with guilt. If only she'd listened to him and gone back to the camp as he'd said. She bit down on her lip and hoped with everything inside her that Oak would find Siddy soon. The air around Moll was still, frighteningly so. No bird song, no rustling undergrowth, no whispering trees. The ground beneath her bare feet was hard, earthen and cool. She raised her hands, still bound, and they met with a wall. A few flakes of soil came away, slipping between her fingers like sand. The cool, quiet stillness, the earth walls. She was underground, trapped underground, in the heart of Skull's lair. She thought of Oak and Mushy, how they'd pleaded with her again and again to speak to them in the clearing, but she'd stormed off into her wagon, and now she was alone. Wincing, Moll pushed herself up. Her dress was torn, the rope burned her wrists, and her head throbbed. Shakily, she traced the wall with her hands. This was a pit, and its sides rose up far beyond her reach. She felt for her catapult, and then remembered that it was gone. But they'd made their first mistake. She untied her feet, her fastest weapon, and she'd stop at nothing to escape. Moll swallowed. She took a step forward, then another, feeling her way around the sides. The pit was bigger than she'd thought, possibly 3 meters wide and long, but any opening above her was masked by darkness. Help me, earth spirits, help me escape. But something told Moll that even the earth spirits didn't venture this far into the deep wood. Sweat settled in her palms. What were those shadows that had blocked Griff from coming into the deep wood? They couldn't have been real. A wave of dizziness flooded her. She needed to escape, but her head was pounding. And as she crouched down, hugging herself into a ball, fear coursed through her. Moll clenched her fists. Skull was out there, and he wanted her dead. Then the voices came from somewhere above. I need 4, at least, no less. And they should be here by now. They've had long enough. Moll shivered. The voice was metallic, cold, like a splinter of ice. And she'd heard it before when she'd stolen Jinx back. It belonged to Skull. Oh, they'll be here. The boys won't go messing up a thing like this. Gobbler's voice came in reply, rasping, thick like mud. Not like Alfie. A fire crackled, but neither its light nor its warmth reached down to Moll. She's a pecksniff, all right. Skull bit off his words like shards of glass. I could see it in her face, so like her mother she is, and to think she was in Oak's camp all along. Moll's body tensed at the mention of her ma, then anger burned up inside her. Oh, she'd get out all right, and then Skull would pay for everything. But her talisman's got another letter too, Gobbler snarled. M. Moll held her breath. The boy, Alfie, had given them her necklace. Her breath caught in her throat. Had he handed over the bone reading? That could lead them to the amulets, and if the amulets are destroyed, they've lost everything. Forever. Skull's voice again, low and hungry. We need her full name to work the curse when the time comes. Without it, we can't do anything. When she wakes, get it out of her. The voices drained away, swallowed by the distant clatter of wagon doors. Moll tried to think, but pain throbbed behind her eyes, and her stomach churned. From somewhere outside, a tree creaked. Moll covered her ears. In the ancient wood, the tree spirits whispered her to sleep, but here... Oh, she shivered. You'd better get used to it, shrimp. Moll spun round, fists raised. There was someone else in the pit. Who's there? She whispered. There was a shuffle in the darkness, then the rasp of a match. The flame lit up a tangle of fair hair and 2 pale eyes. Alfie. As the light filled the chamber, she saw that all around them, scattered on the ground, were bones. Moll's chest tightened. They're just animal bones, she told herself, nothing more. The pit wasn't round as she'd imagined. It was an oblong of sorts, a den of darkness that sank into shadows behind Alfie. Tree roots lined the walls, and directly above her was an opening. Rough steps had been cut into the soil up to it, but the entrance was covered by a huge metal grate. Moll's eyes darted back to Alfie. He was sitting against the wall of the pit, unarmed and still wearing his blue feather earring, but his lip was bleeding and his shirt was ripped. A torn rag and a plate of stale bread lay discarded by his feet, and beside that was a flask of water and a small rusted tin in which he must have kept his matches. Moll raised her fists higher and scowled. "Let's have you then, you mangled weasel," she muttered. Alfie kicked a bone by his foot. "Don't cross me, you runt." Moll narrowed her eyes but said nothing. I'm going to leave it there, and we'll start again tomorrow on the rest of the chapter. Have a lovely day.